Brown Seneca-Soshin Elk Talk 15 Discovery and Change. First, an editorial note. These talks are pretty much impromptu, and I don't have any notes or teleprompter in front of me. So, from a production point of view, they don't come out as smooth and well delivered talks. So, you ought to expect pauses and a little bit of thinking from my side, and I slow down at times. So, just wanted to share that with you. But today, I want to touch on discovery and change. And I would like to begin with a quote from Seneca in his Letters of a Stoic. It goes like this, quote, "People who pioneered the old routes are leaders, not our masters. There has yet to be a monopoly on truth, and there is plenty of it left for future generations too." Unquote. So, what Seneca is saying here is that old frameworks, sometimes that become very dogmatic and ossified with time, are out of date. We need to progress, and we need to take the time to find our own unique self and discover. And that exploration and discovery has to begin from within. Even though we are born and raised in a certain period of time, a certain culture, a certain way of thinking, not all of it will suit us. And it behooves that we step out of that box and look at the various wisdom traditions in the world on the personal front to determine and explore and find out what is that which brings us the best in us, and what's out there may not necessarily fit like a perfect round peg in a round hole. Some of it may not suit us, but it is important that we discover what suits us and fine tune it, hone it, so that we flourish as human beings in terms of the moral and the philosophical framework that guides us in life. That's on the personal front. On the professional and entrepreneurial front, what we also find is systems of thinking, technologies, organizational cultures become ossified with time, and people start playing out their work and life in a very rote way. Much of it is actually trying to please someone who is above us, and someone who probably is ossified him or herself in a particular role or in a particular position, and does not want to change the framework because it cause a disruption in their power or the way they manage or control resources, whether it be human resources or whether it be a certain amount of turf in an organization. The same thing holds good with technologies and ways of doing things, because it's always said this is how it is being done, and your performance or rating depends on what others think of you or tell of you, and all those others too are caught in this woodwork, if you will, which is very rigid, and they're all playing out the usual play that has been going on for a number of years. So the innovator or the entrepreneur in us needs to step out of that and challenge that in a good and healthy way. And sometimes it's necessary to even probably exit that system and found our own company or own product that disrupts how work was done or how something delivered utility to a certain market. So going back to Seneca, I would like to quote that again. Seneca says, "People who pioneered the old routes are leaders, not our masters. There has yet to be a monopoly on truth, and there is plenty of it left for future generations too." Unquote. So let's keep that thought in mind and also put that into practice to flourish as a human being, as a citizen of the cosmos, and excel as a professional, entrepreneur, as well as an intrapreneur if we are working in an organization, so that we break new ground, advance the state of the art, and actually serve the mission of that organization to deliver new utilities or enhance what is already being done into something even better, rather than get caught in the mesh of how things have always been done in the past, the usual data metrics or the dashboards that people like to have, and try to measure human ingenuity and intellectual output or creativity. So there is a very big difference between human performance, human creativity, and ingenuity, and how, let us say, a car performs in terms of its RPM, torque, or engine temperature. That requires a dashboard to measure. But human performance is something that cannot be measured, gauged based on someone's feedback or these dashboards that our current zeitgeist in institutions and companies that seem to be running by. So, thank you.